Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie, and it's day 13 of the 2020 Advent Tournament.
Today's matchup, number 8 overall, is Old Forester 1910.
Yum yum.
That's the wood finish bourbon from bracket 1. And number 9 overall, our rye from bracket 1, Pikesville Rye.
Who did we unseat to move the Pikesville forward?
The Pikesville put a bit of a hurt on the Dickel Bottled and Bond from 2020.
Oh, that's right. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and 1910 took down Elijah Craig, single barrel store pick. Well, I want to get right into this because I love both of these, and I've been looking forward to this matchup since these bottles both won.
Yeah. This is good.
Oh, these are very different. on the
Very
nose, aren't
different.
they?
Mm-hmm.
So the Old Forester 1910 is 93 proof, so it's really low proof.
Okay.
Pikesville is 110 proof, which is quite high for a rye. Didn't mean to rhyme, but I did it.
On the nose, it's interesting. The more that I go back and forth, at first I really liked the smell of.
I almost took a sip already. I can't wait.
To go for it. I've done that. On my initial nose, I was really going with glass number 2 on that.
Really?
But then when I went back and forth, as I do, now I'm really stuck on number 1. It is like sweet and caramely, and
Yeah.
it's just lovely. With that caramel, I'm getting a little bit of a breadiness on the nose on glass number 1.
Yeah, it's all caramel. For me, it's gooey caramel.
All right, I'm going in. You
Yeah,
going in?
yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
Oh,
I love
wow.
this bourbon.
The flavors just kind of get there, expand, and then like settle in really nice. Doesn't help you, but there was like an initial like delicious caramely taste, and then it kind of almost hit like a cherry note towards the back, and then just like a really nice slow finish.
Like a bourbon balloon.
Sure.
Weird.
That was really
Yeah,
good.
this one is hints of chocolate, lots of vanilla, no spice at all. Maybe a hint of cinnamon at the very end on the palate, but that's it.
It is so easy.
Mm-hmm.
If I can say anything about that, it's like a whole mouthfeel too. Like I can feel it like over in my cheeks, and it's a lovely simmer. There's so many complexities. Like I got some vanilla, definitely like dark caramel, even like a little bit of that breadiness I was talking about on the nose. But man, that finish is just lovely.
And we'll check out the legs on it too. I feel like the finish is just tons and tons of oak that hangs around. Nice oak though.
Yeah.
Like charred, like really toasted charred oak.
Just balanced. Like
Yeah.
the flavors all meld so perfectly together.
It's unsettlingly balanced. It's a little too perfect. If I can
I like
continue to
it.
gush about whatever
I know.
this glass 1 is.
I like it.
I'm taking one more sip of glass 1 because I really like it, and then I'll move on to glass 2.
That's good. I'm gonna move on to 2 only because I'll just keep drinking glass 1 and then there won't be anything left at the end, which has happened numerous times already. Oh gosh, the nose on glass 2 is just so much spicier compared to what I just drank.
It's totally changed too from while it's been sitting here. There's more ethanol in this glass. This is that like cherry syrup for like cola or cherry sodas, or that old-timey cherry that you put in cola.
Yeah, I get a little bit of heat right up front on this one.
Oh, this has got that rye dance on the tongue. On the front of the tongue, it dances a little bit. Vanilla on the palate. The cherry syrup's back. There's brighter notes
It's
in here
good,
than I
but
thought there would be. Do you know which one is which? Have you determined that?
for 100%. Yeah.
Okay. I think we both understand that glass 1 at this point is the Old Forester 1910 and glass 2 is the Pikesville Rye.
Yeah, these ones are hard when you're going up against a rye. I mean, ryes are just such a spicier whiskey. If we had no labels here, we didn't know. You would know which one the rye was. Not taking anything away from it, it's really delicious.
Hey, the people can't see. Nice enough hair on here, I think. So yeah, we've identified which one is which, and I think we're 100% right. The interesting thing about tasting whiskeys in this way, where the matchups are so bizarre, from rye to wood-aged bourbons to wheated bourbons, the interesting thing about it is I would never think to pair these things against each other, but because we have paired them, I'm getting some really, really nice flavors from the Pikesville, and I'm interested to go back to the 1910 after a couple of sips of this to see what else I find in there. But on the Pikesville today, it's like a raspberry parfait. There's vanilla, there's really bright, ripe red fruit. There's a sprig of mint on the nose that I didn't pick up before. I got that on the finish previously with this bottle, but never on the nose. Pikesville is a Christmas whiskey.
Oh.
It's spicy, flavorful. It's got bright notes, but it's also got that nice, I've just eaten way too much and I need a proper after dinner drink.
I like where you're going with this.
There's so much complexity in that bottle. This, I think, really is my favorite rye.
I very much am enjoying the Pikesville, but for me, the 1910 is by far the winner. And I'm gonna just move on to my choice to glass number 1. Now, that's not saying that maybe we've got a mix-up here, but I'm almost positive.
The other thing is, look at the Pikesville has really nice legs on it too. These are both, I think these are both stellar.
I just took another sip of this glass number 1, and it is so good.
I just went back and took a sip of it myself, sort of expecting what happened when we put Eagle Rare against Woodford Double Oaked,
Yeah.
where as soon as you went back to that Woodford, it was like cloying sweetness,
Yeah.
chocolate fudge. I was worried that was going to happen to glass 1 here. It didn't. Glass 1 is
No.
still so beautifully, perfectly balanced. I'm about 95% of the way to making my decision. I find this closer than I thought I would. You don't, but I...
No. Glass 1 for me as an overall experience, from the first sip, even to the smell, right? So even on the nose, but from that first sip, mid-palate to the finish, it is just so balanced and so delicious the entire time. There's not a ton of heat on it. You don't get a moment where you're like making any weird faces as I do. I just love it. I cannot say enough about the 1910.
You have a very determined look on your face today.
I know.
I'm usually the one trying to convince her of things, whether I'm trying it intentionally or not. She is swinging hard for this. One more sip of the Pikesville, and then I'm going to make my decision. But I've never seen you so...
Most of the matchups don't really matter to me in one way or another, but I feel like since I knocked out that 1920 at the beginning, like
that is
I gotta
so haunting me.
I know, I really gotta, just be on it. Anyway, for me, like you said, or maybe I said, I don't know who said it, but it was a pretty easy decision for me. I just love it.
I do want to say one more thing about the Pikesville. During our All Rise challenge, Pikesville for me was number 1. It was number 2 for you. We said it was an old-timey diner experience. Cherry syrup up front, vanilla, caramel sauce, bright fruits in the middle, almost like a parfait, which again we reiterated today. And then on the finish, I said it was like a chocolate cake with a sprig of mint. All of that stuff holds true. This Pikesville Rye sells for $50. And
it's delicious.
As far as I'm concerned, it is worth
delicious.
every penny of that $50. The Old Forester sells $52 to $55 depending on where you get it. If you get it on sale, at least in our market, they're similarly priced. Both wonderful whiskeys. I'm thrilled to have both of them on the shelf. They both have a place on this shelf.
I actually cannot believe how much I'm enjoying the ryes during this challenge, and maybe that's just a combination of palate changes throughout the...
Palate's growing up.
Yeah, I know.
Palate finally hit puberty.
I feel like when you introduced me to them, they just were kind of like, yeah, they're good. But now I'm really enjoying them. Really enjoying them.
I'm a little worried about that Old Forester Rye bottle up there. I'm worried that I might not get that one back after this challenge.
I don't go for ryes on a daily basis, so I feel like you're okay.
I do. Okay, so it's my turn to make a decision. I'm now getting cherries on this glass, a little light chocolate, milk chocolate, not dark chocolate. There's the caramel. Glass 1.
Oh, it's so good.
I really like both of these, but glass 1.
Yeah.
And with authority.
Which, I mean, they probably knew that from the beginning.
Probably. It was, I expected it to be interesting because I really like both of these. And the Pikesville flavor profile is wonderful, but 1910 is what I'm preferring today. And probably what I normally prefer. So
yeah, we should check to
let's
make
have
sure.
A look.
So I got B.
I have a very faintly drawn B. Yeah, I know, I was the one that drew it.
Yeah.
B, 1910. So,
delicious.
The only rye left in the competition is Old Forester Rye. Julie will put that up against Woodinville Bourbon in just a couple of days.
Ooh,
but
that
for
should be
now,
interesting.
I think it's going to be a great challenge. For now, this one comes off the table, and that is the end of day 13. We are past the halfway point now.
All right.
If you haven't started your holiday shopping, now's probably a good time to do that.
Yeah, whiskey is always a perfect option.
See, we're providing a great service, and now you know. Now you know what to get people. With that said, I'm excited to move on to day 14.
I am too. I
Tomorrow's-
don't even know what it is.
Tomorrow's matchup,
Every day is a surprise to me because I never do my homework.
well, I'll give you a hint. It's your second favorite distillery.
Ooh, Four Roses. It took me a few a few seconds.
Well, from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.